as a whole? I know you got 3 races to go, but how would you sum up 2025 for you?
Yeah, I think we started the year as about a 30th place team. We've ended the year probably about a 10th place team, so a lot of progression. We've got we kind of reset, particularly with the 6 car where we're at with a lot of things, and starting to come together pretty reasonably well. We're not in a spot where I'd say we're a threat to win every week, but we're a lot closer to that. Had some really strong runs and good finishes, so I'm encouraged. Off season in front of us to build and be better, and that said, we still want to win one of these last 3 races, and Talladega presents itself as a good opportunity.
Is there any balance of, there's a couple of Fords still alive in the playoffs, but yet you guys are pretty desperate, I would say, for a win, as far as like who you work with?
If an RFK car has a shot to win, we got to take it, right? I think that the whole working with the OEM thing has certainly progressed to levels that are maybe a little less than desirable for the sport, but it is the circumstances at hand, and we still need to do what's best for RFK.
Do you have any sense, we talked a lot last week after the Roval about manipulation and drivers doing what, do you have any clear of what you can do and can't do, can't say?
I know don't say anything on the radio, and apparently some others maybe don't know that. But outside of that, I think there's a lot of leeway.
Yeah. How do you, go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I was just going to ask along those lines from Martinsville. I mean, how does the sport stop that from happening? There might not be stuff said on the radio, but people are going to be doing things. There's going to be guys close to the cut line. How does that get managed in an appropriate way?
Yeah, probably just go to the 36 season format, 36 race season format. Outside of that, it's really difficult to manage. There'll always be different pieces. You try a deterrence model with penalties. That works to a limited degree. There's an incentives model outside of that I think could probably be tuned up a little differently, but ultimately the format has a large part of it.
Where do you see, Denny had this choice in the Roval almost, if he knew the point situation of maybe helping somebody get in who might, he had this choice, do I keep Logano out because he might be a bigger threat at Phoenix?
Yeah.
What, can you look long-term like that, or should you be allowed to look long-term in making those decisions?
Should you be allowed to? I mean, whether you're allowed to or not, you're going to in this format scenario, and I suspect it'll continue to play out over this next 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Brad, there were a lot of drivers in the playoffs this year that came through your program when you had the Truck Series. What do you look for in a driver?
Really simply, I look for somebody that can go fast and has shown some kind of emotional intelligence to where you think you can develop them. So, if you have someone who's got just kind of raw inherent speed and the ability to be coached, kind of sky's the limit for them. That's always been my philosophy.
Yeah, because I know one of the things you wanted was to make sure that y'all had Chris Buescher under contract when you came over there. What was it that you saw in him that you wanted?
Good raw speed and coachability. I mean, just really simple. Can overcomplicate it with a whole bunch of other things, but Chris embodies that for sure.
One thing I was curious about, Buddy Baker told me one time that what he looked for was if he knew what type of car they had, and if they could make that car perform better than what it was capable of.
Yeah.
That was what he looked at.
Well, that's not a bad thing to look at. In this day and age, the equipment levels, certainly there's some disparities across the development series, but there's a lot of opportunity as well. So, it's not quite the same as what it was back then. It seems like 30, 40 years ago, you had to drive like 2 or 3 seasons of bad equipment before you could even get a shot at good equipment. And that's not necessarily how I think this level works today, but back then for sure.
Before you sat down, you were looking at this picture of the trophy over my shoulder. Where's that trophy rank in your collection of trophies?
It's one of my favorites, solely because I was a part of the making of it. So I got a little pride about that. But I think it is pretty cool. It's a Talladega trophy, which can never go wrong. But 2, I mean, look, it's what they call a Vulcan, and it's got some kind of connection. thing. I don't know if you guys have been downtown. You know, they've got the Vulcan or kind of guy on one of the buildings, which I thought was pretty neat. Russell deserves the majority of the credit, but I'm going to take my 5% and say that makes it cool to me.
Hey, Brad, you can have a multi-car crash tomorrow, and you can include playoff drivers and non-playoff drivers. Should NASCAR look at sending push trucks and tow trucks? I'm not talking safety crew members. Tow trucks and push trucks to playoff cars first.
Oh my gosh. No.
Do they?
No.
Okay, so explain why. Because I think one side of an argument can be they've potentially earned it by getting this far. Understanding that you and others have other things to race for. But what's your perspective?
I don't know, just the mere thought of it disgusts me. You know, I like the whole. There should be no extra resources given to any team, regardless of their status. I think that's part of what fair competition is.
But that's not what's done in the sport.
I know. That doesn't mean I like it. Yeah.
I mean, just look at the playoff. I mean, the qualifying metric. I mean, the playoff drivers, even if they don't perform well, are going to go last.
I don't agree with that either, but it's not my decision.
Brad. Okay, I was just curious about just getting your perspective on it. So.
No, it's
There for because you had Corey as your backup.
Yeah, I mean the stress of it all when you're leaving for Las Vegas and she's home. Yeah, there was a lot of like, hey, hopefully this can happen during the week, and you know it all happened and it went really well. So you know, unfortunately, I wasn't there for the first one, but we talked about it afterwards, and then this one. The experience, the nurses, the doctors, they were phenomenal, and it was great. It was great to be there, you know, for Heather, for Bentley, but also, you know, to be able to bring Rebecca the next day and have her meet her little brother, and so it was special. And then, of course, my wife caught me slipping, and I was sleeping next to him, and she was the only one awake, so I got that picture too. Got that memory.
This place was the tech gods were a little cruel to you last time here, but still, just having that run, having that photo finish, like how much more does that make you want to win this thing here?
Yeah, I think, you know, confidence-wise, I have a lot of confidence going into super speedways this year. I mean, between the 500. Talladega, Daytona, we've been in contention with 3 to go, leading a lane. So right now it's trying to make everything line up so it works out that we are the one in victory lane, and you know that's all you can do. Because if you put yourself in contention and give yourself opportunities to win, law of averages end up being on your side.
Does that increase confidence have anything to do with like teaming up with Brad Keselowski this year, given his success he's had at these tracks?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, and it's not that I wanted to, but before we were kind of just told we needed to be there at the end, and stage points weren't really the thing we needed. Where coming into this year, it's race the shit out of it. You know, give yourself the best opportunity. And what I've found is by racing the way I want to and being aggressive is just makes you feel that much more comfortable later in the race when you need to make those moves or be aggressive, and especially with people that, you know, they either want to be pushed by you or push you. So I feel like we've made ourselves kind of a car that you're going to want to be hooked up with if you're going to try and, you know, win or be up front.